Hello my beautiful babes out there, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, thank you so much for watching today. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys my favorite spring inspired palettes. These are just the type of palettes I gravitate to during the springtime, you know, what, like the bright colors and the florals and the pastels. They just get me in the spring vibe. Now of course you can wear any color on your eyes any time of the year. I'm just a type of person who likes to switch up their makeup seasonally, so if you are interested in seeing my favorite spring palettes, then keep on watching. Alright lovelies, welcome. I hope everyone is doing well. Are you guys excited that it is about to be spring? I just love when the warmer weather starts coming in and the flowers start blooming outside and people start wearing like floral-y dresses. It just gets me in such a good mood. Spring is just one of my favorite seasons, so I thought, hey, let me film a video and show you guys palettes that I love to wear during the springtime. Just a lot of palettes with color, pastels that just go with like flowers and blooming and just with the things that I tend to wear during the spring season. I did do a video like this a while ago. I did one on fall palettes and I showed you guys everything that inspired me during the fall time. I'm gonna try to do all the seasons this year, so hopefully I will be able to make that happen and show you guys all that. But I do have 15 palettes here to show you guys from various brands, and I'll just let you know why I feel like they're very spring-esque and why I just gravitate to them during the season. So let's get into it. So I'm just going to pull at random. Okay, so let me start with this one right here. This is from BH Cosmetics. This is the Blueberry Muffin palette. This is actually the palette I am wearing on my eyes right now. I literally just used 2 shades from the palette, but I do feel like this could be a very spring palette, especially if you like blues. But this is what it looks like. It is such a beautiful color story, and I just think this would go really good with the spring season because they have these pastel-y like blues in here. This is more like a blurple. This is the one that's all over my lids right now, and then it has like some peachy light shades and some light shimmers, and I just feel like you could really create some beautiful spring looks, and I just get spring vibes in it. It is such a good quality palette too, so if you like blues and you like affordable makeup, I think most of us like high quality affordable makeup, then you should definitely check this out. I think it's really pretty, and I've been having a lot of fun playing with that palette. So now going on to another BH Cosmetics palette. This is also pretty new. This is the Los Angeles palette. I think it's just, oh no, Lost in Los Angeles, and this one is such a spring palette. Like, look at that, the pastels, the like bright colors, the colorful shimmers. Nothing is too deep in this palette, and I feel like springtime there's just so many things that are like pastel and in this color like range with stuff like the dresses and how actual flowers can look. So I think that this is like perfect for the springtime. They released this just in time for the spring season, and I've been playing with this one as well, and I think it's really nice. Now of course this is mainly pastel. There's like no depth in here, so if you like to make your look really smoky, you're not gonna find it in here. You'll probably have to pull that from another palette. But if you're looking for like very pastel-y, just really pretty like colorful mattes and shimmers, you would probably really like this palette, and the formula is really good on this BH Cosmetics palette as well. Now going on to some other palettes that are also quite affordable are these from Colourpop. So these 3 little palettes from their like monochromatic series just scream springtime to me. So here is the Aha Honey palette, and don't mind my nails, I need to repaint them. But this, come on, it's like a pastel-y yellow dream, and this is just so springtime to me. If you want to do an all like light yellow look, you have a little bit of browns, but this palette doesn't get very deep at all. I mean, this is more like light, medium to light range, like the color depth in here. But besides that, I think this is so pretty, and this would also be a really nice like accent palette to other palettes if you want like more yellow shades in your life. And then the next one in the monochromatic series from Colourpop is the Lilac You a lot palette, and this one has more variety in it. It's not only purples, there are some pinks in this, but of course like lavenders and soft purples are so beautiful during the springtime. And I like that there's a little bit of pinkness in it, so if you want to do like a more pastel-y pink look, you could kind of do that with this palette. But of course it's mainly leaning very lavender and lilac-y, but come on, lilac, doesn't that make you think of springtime? And then this one as well, the Meant to Be. This is their Pasteli Minty one. Now this is super minty. I mean, there's not a lot of variation. Most of your looks are all gonna kind of come out the same. But I mean, come on, pastel greens, does that not scream springtime to you? And I just think it's really pretty. They have a little bit of depth in here, but it's just a nice muted minty color story, and I love to pull this out during the spring season. So let's see, let's stay in the affordable range still. Another palette that I really like during this season is the Juvia's Place, the Deuce palette. This is a very interesting color story, but it has very springy kind of colors, like florally inspired colors. Like this right here is like a pastel-y greeny mint, but a little deeper than like a traditional mint shimmer. It has like these light pinks in here, this like icy pink shade, and then it has a little bit of pop of like fuchsia. It has this right here if you want to deepen up the look a little bit, and I just see spring every time I look at this palette. So this is a really good one from Juvia's Place, and I know a lot of people have put this as like one of their favorite palettes from Juvia's Place, and I can definitely see why, because the color story is so fun and it's a little bit more interesting than like the normal pastel palettes that you see. Oh, I almost forgot about this one. This is from Colourpop as well. This is the Pretty Guardian palette. This was like their Sailor Moon collaboration. I think this is still available on their website, but I've talked about this palette before. It's not necessarily like my favorite palette, but it is perfect for spring. This is something I will pull out during the spring season because I like using these kind of colors on my eyes. It's very light, it's very pastel-y, it's very springy appropriate. Now of course there is no depth, there is no deep shades. These are all just very light, more mid-tone to very light shades in here, so that's why I don't usually gravitate to this very often. But this is like perfect for springtime, so this is pretty much the only time I ever pull this palette out, but it's perfect for this season. I swear I'm going to say spring so many times in this video. This is definitely the kind of video that you could get wasted if you took a shot every time I said it's springtime. But of course, it's the theme of the video, so what do you expect? I'm not going to use the word, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so going on, here is the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde, and I absolutely adore this palette. This is my favorite palette from Huda. Like all of her big palettes, this to me is the best one. Come on, do I have to say anything? Like, look at these beautiful pastels, these soft colors, these soft shimmers, the lilacs, the little mint. This is so good for this season, and I just love to pull this out during this time of the year. I'm so happy to have this because the quality is so good. The mattes are nice, the shimmers are just stunning and just soft but vibrant and shimmery, and just all the springy goodness is in this palette for sure. So if you were eyeing this one out, it is really good. I highly recommend this one from Huda. Okay, so a indie brand I have here. This is from Nomad Cosmetics. This is their Tokyo palette, I believe. I think it's the Tokyo palette, but this is their pastel palette. So it's pretty obvious why this is so good for the springtime, because of all the pastels. And I do like that they included one like deeper shade if you want to deepen up the look, but not go too extreme with the depth, because it's still on the lighter end of a deeper shade. Does that make any sense at all? But look at this, so pretty. And the shimmers down here, like on the bottom row, are so special. They're so unique, especially this Moshi shade right here. I mean, I love a good like little springy, little minty shimmer. Like, The shimmers in here are on the sheer side, but they're like wonderful topper shades that can transform any shade that they're put on top of. Like, so good. I love the shimmer formula in here. But yes, this is a great spring palette from Nomad Cosmetics. And then going on to another one. I feel like I have mentioned this palette so many times on my channel. It's been ranked #1 in palette rankings. I can't recommend this palette enough. I feel like this is just so underrated. No one ever talks about this palette. But of course, this is a very like light, pastel-y but colorful pastel palette. I love that like all the rows are like monochromatic. So if you want a purple look, blue look, green look, yellow look, orangey look, pinky look, I mean, I just love that they break it up like this. And the shimmers in here are super stunning. I'm going to show you guys that up close. The mattes are really nice, and I love this bottom row right here because you can use a lot of these as like highlighters on the cheeks. They make beautiful inner corner highlights. They make beautiful little toppers on other shades, and I just love it. I don't know why people don't talk about this palette enough, but this is also just wonderful during this season. So if you guys were eyeing this out, or if you have it, you should pull it out. It is a perfect time to play with that palette. Then going on to another brand. This is from Glamlight. This is also a palette I have raved about on my channel. It's so good. It's also been #1 on one of my rankings. I did do a video where I created different looks with it, did swatches and all that. I'll have it come up in the corner. I'll link it below as well. But come on, and this one is very versatile because it has pastels, but it also has neutrals in here. So if you want to just add like a little bit of pop of color and then the rest neutral, you can do that. Or if you want a little bit of pastel, maybe just in the inner corner, and then you want to like predominantly have neutrals, I mean, you can do a lot with this, or you can just stick to the pastel region. I just think that this is such a good palette. The textures of the shades in here are so nice. Like the shimmers are absolutely stunning. The mattes are really beautiful. They're pigmented but blendable. I think Glamlight has an amazing formula, and I could just go on. And I mean, come on, does this not make you think of spring looking at this? Even the packaging gets me into the spring vibe. Okay, so we just have 4 more palettes to go. I'm trying not to make this video too long because I feel like it can get pretty repetitive because I have like the same thoughts on each palette and why they fit to the season. So going on to another indie brand, this is the Udenzai Elva 2 eyeshadow palette. I just recently talked about this one. I did a ranking video just before this one. I'll link it below as well and put it in the corner. But I was looking at this during that video and I was like, this is perfect for the season that we're going into. Come on, look at this. Very colorful, but this also does have some neutrals in here. And you can do just a lot. I mean, you can get greeny vibes, you can do blues, you can do some oranges and some pinks. And I think of flowers and like a garden when I look at this palette. So I think that this would be perfect for the spring season as well. And Udenzai has such a good eyeshadow formula, and they just make really good mattes. They make really good shimmers. I do want to mention though that there are 2 pressed glitters in here, so if you don't like pressed glitters, then you probably want to stay away from this palette. But if you don't mind that, then you would probably really love this palette. The next indie brand that I wanted to mention is from Lethal Cosmetics. This is their, is it After Dark palette? I mean, it's not really a dark palette. It's definitely more of the opposite, but look at that. I love this. Now this one is a little bit deeper, more mid-tone shades, not a lot of pastels. I mean, this one is kind of a pastel, this one, but I think that this is such a good quality palette. It has such a variety of colors. It has a nice matte white. If you want to even lighten up the shades more and make them even more pastel, you can do that with the white. Or this makes like a great inner corner highlight, or like all of the lid to bring some brightness in the inner part. I just love a really good matte white, and I think Lethal has an amazing formula, and this would be just so good for the springtime. Like, come on, do you see it? Do you see where I'm going with most of these palettes? A lot of them are pretty predominantly colorful and pastel-y, but I mean, you get why, right? Then the next one from Udenzai that I also wanted to mention, this is pretty new to Udenzai. This came out as part of their Norn series. I did do a video where I did a bunch of looks with the palettes from that series. I'll put that in the corner as well and link it below if you want to get some inspiration. But this is the Skud palette. This is one of their little mini palettes in the series. And this is an all shimmer palette, but I thought these colors really screamed spring, especially like these pastel shades and these shades right here. And this is such a beautiful shimmer formula. The only one that's slightly different is this Fantasy one. It's more of like a cream shade, and the rest are a little bit more textured but very sparkly. But I think all the shades in here are really pretty, and this is a great accent palette. So if you need like more lighter shimmers in your life, or you have mostly mattes and you just need more shimmers in your life as well, I think this makes a really good accent palette. And this is also a great opportunity if you wanted to try Udenzai's shimmer formula. But I think it's really nice palette for this season. And then the last one that I wanted to mention is the Kaleidos Futurism Lunar Lavender palette. I think that this is just very like spring, very lilac-y, and I think it's really nice. The only thing I want to mention though is this purple is a little finicky. It takes a lot of work to work with it and can be patchy, but all the other shades in here are absolutely stunning, especially these shimmer shades in here. They're out of this world. They're so beautiful. And then like this matte brown is really nice. This one's nice. This one's a great matte as well. And I think that you can work with it. You just have to put a little bit more effort to get it to look right. But besides that, very springy, very pretty, very stunning. Kaleidos has a really good eyeshadow formula, and even the packaging just screams springtime. Anyways guys, that was all the palettes that just get me into the spring vibe. But let me know in the comments below, do you agree with these palettes? Do they inspire you for spring, or are you a person who gravitates to other colors, like you stick to your jewel tones or your smoky looks? Or are you a person that switches their makeup up seasonally? I would love to hear from all of y'all. And also, if you're new here and you enjoyed this video and you like fashion, makeup, beauty, and all that fun stuff, please hit that subscribe button and join this little family we got going on. And don't forget to check out the description. I'll have all the palettes linked below that I mentioned. I will try to make sure to link my makeup I'm wearing as well. Sometimes I forget to do that, but if I remember, I'll have that in the description as well. And my contact information. I have 2 Instagram pages if you want to check them out. I am Breecy_beauty and Breecy lifestyle. So if you guys want to check out those pages and join my Instagram fam as well, I would really appreciate that. But that was everything, guys. I hope you are doing well wherever you are in the world, and just sending you love and light. But until next time, bye guys.